This is it. This is the game that actually we've all been waiting for. What is up, Finn fans? Today is the preview video for the Miami Dolphins taking on the Cincinnati Bengals. Now, like I said in that little quirky intro that I have in the beginning of most of my videos, I think all my videos, this is the game that we've actually been waiting for. And why? Because there's huge implications in this game that I will talk about. I will address what the implications are, the good, the bad, the ugly. It's a lot of. But before I jump into that, before I jump into the injury report, 5 things, all that stuff, real quick shout out to Vic. Pop it up real quick. He got his merch. Went down below, clicked on the link, went to the site, grabbed himself some merch. I know another one of you guys reached out to me, said you guys got your merch. If you get your merch, you send me a picture. I'm going to pop it up here. I'm going to shout you out. Thank you so much, Vic, for grabbing the merch. You're one of many that have grabbed some merch. So hope you like it. Hope it feels nice. I hope it's nice and showing off. I don't know what I'm saying, but thank you, Vic, for grabbing some merch. And if you want to grab some, it's linked below. But let's jump into this video. Let's jump into the injury report. Like usual, pop it up on my face, and let's break down this injury report. Now, Chandler Cox, full practice. A lot of guys were full practice. So a few limited practices with Jason Sanders. He was sick. Zach, the defensive tackle, ankle injury, not too much of a worry there. Alan Hearns, not too much of a worry. Other than that, full practices all around. And then, for the Bengals, some names popped up. Joe Mixon is one of them. Popped up with like a calf injury, a calf strain. And I'm doing this because a lot of people are thinking him magically popping up, him magically showing up on the injury report might be the Bengals trying to reassure that they lose this game. And I'll get into those implications after my 5 things on what essentially the win and loss could do for both teams. But talking of injury report, this week the Miami Dolphins put Raekwon McMillan on injured reserve. I think that happened about Monday or Tuesday. They put him on injured reserve. Is it a serious season-ending injury? No, it isn't. But you got 2 weeks left, about a week left. What they're doing now, like I said multiple times, is they're just poaching players off of either waivers or practice squad, seeing if they could steal some diamond in the rough, build off of that, see what they can get, and move into next season. So Raekwon McMillan goes on injury reserve, and Xavier Howard yesterday talked about he had. All right, let me break this down because this bothered me, and I talked about it on Twitter. Be sure to follow me on Twitter. I talked about this on Twitter. It was reported that Xavier Howard yesterday had surgery on his knee, which then I proceeded to think to myself, why on God's green earth would you wait until 2 weeks before the season's over to have surgery on your knee when you could have had surgery on your knee as soon as you went on IR? Like, it made no sense to me, right? So I got a little frustrated. I tweeted that out. I'm like, why? Why would you wait so long to get surgery on your knee? Get it as soon as you need it. Start rehabbing, start building up the strength so you're 100% for next season, right? It was bothered me. Then I proceed to continue to read as more reports came out that it was, now don't get me wrong, you have a scope on your knee. It technically is a surgery procedure, but it's not surgery. He didn't have an ACL repaired. He didn't have his MCL, his PCL repaired. He didn't have any major surgery on his knee. He had an arthroscopic surgery. Essentially, he had his knee scoped to see what's going on in his knee. Is there any damage in his knee? He tweaked his knee. He didn't play a few games. When he did play, he was great, except for the one Cowboys game. He struggled, but hey, you're playing corner against on this defense with this defensive line. You're going to struggle because this defensive line is going to give you opposite quarterback 9,000 years to throw the ball. But they were like, let's see what's going on in your knee. Is there something we should be worried about? Is there an ACL, any tears, or anything? And there was no tears, no major injury, no major damage to his knee. So it was just a scope. It was just a checkup on his knee. Scoped his knee, wasn't that big of a deal. It's not surgery. He will be more than ready for when camp starts. And I'm talking like mini camp. I'm talking about like the camp that the rookies aren't even there, the camp before the draft. He will be ready because it's not that big of an injury, nor is it a surgery. Beat writers trying to get clicks and all that stuff. Can't stand it. Let's get into the 5 things the Miami Dolphins need to do to beat the Cincinnati Bengals. And again, after this, I will talk about repercussions of winning and the repercussions of losing. Now, like I say to you guys all the time, no specific order from 5 to 1. That's my usual spiel. But also, I watch film and I watch the opposing team and I try to find their strengths and their weaknesses, what we can exploit, what we got to worry about, right? And with this game, I was torn because watching this game, you're like, well, shouldn't we lose? If we lose, we put ourselves into good, draft position. I know a lot of you guys commenting below already, or you guys are in the premiere saying we should lose this game. And then there's some people that are, we should win. So I'm going to give you guys what the Dolphins need to do to win. And then after this, I will talk about the repercussions, right? Both teams suck. It is what it is. Bengals head coach, he should be fired after this year. Will he get fired? But he should be fired after this year. Both teams are just doo-doo butter, right? So, my number one is no mistakes. And that's my on this list for ever and ever and ever and always, right? But a lot of times I say no mistakes because when you play someone like the Ravens, the Patriots, the Steelers, the Chargers, the Cowboys, the Bills, heck, even the Jets, the Redskins, when you play these teams, the Giants, you start making mistakes. You start giving the opposing offense time to or chances to score on you. It really kills you. With this game, I say no mistakes. But in actuality, I'm like, hey, they both suck. So it's like, yeah, you might cause a mistake, but you might be able to bounce back from it. It depends on who's the better team. And I'll talk about I'm getting ahead of myself. But no mistakes, because it really, if you want to win this game, you need to have as many possessions as you can. Like, look at the Jets game. How many times were we in the red zone? How many times did we have a chance to score? 8 field goal attempts, 7 made. No mistakes, especially when it comes to penalties and stuff. It seems like we've gone downhill with the penalties. The number 2 thing, is Mixon playing? Is he playing? If he's playing, you got to worry about him. You got to worry about him. And like I said in the injury report, him all of a sudden popping up with a calf injury is a little suspect. A little suspect, if you ask me. All of a sudden, Joe Mixon is popping up. He's got a little bit of a calf injury in a game that is pivotal for the draft picks. A little suspect. But if he's playing, you got to worry about that. Look what Saquon Barkley did to the Miami Dolphins last week. Look what Saquon Barkley did to Nick Needham. Oh my gosh. I don't think he's been walking right since. But you always have to, this is one of the things that is on here. This is one of the 2 things that I usually put on here. That's fundamentals of football. You got to stop the run. You stop the run, it helps to, make them one-dimensionally, get after the quarterback, which is number 3. You got to pressure Andy Dalton. Andy Dalton ain't no spring chicken that's going to be able to run for 400 yards on us. So you got to get some pressure on him. You stop the run, you pressure the quarterback, you get after him, you put him on the ground. We were doing it to Eli. Eli isn't a quarterback that is going to start running on you, and we got to him. We got pressure on him. Did it help? Not really, because we have no pass rush. We have zero pass rush. Our pass rush, our defensive ends are doo-doo. Straight 100% stinky out in the sun for about 4 weeks. Doo-doo. So we got to get some type of pressure. And then in the offseason, we got to get some defensive ends, some pass rush. Sweet baby Rays. Do we need help on there? But again, that's a topic for another video when I break down the things that Dolphins need to address in the offseason. It's a lot, but we need to get some pressure on Andy Dalton. The number 4 thing, as much as we don't have a pass rush, as much as we can't get after a quarterback, for the love of whatever, can we run the ball? Like Gaskins And Laird had a good game last week. Cox wasn't in there, so, we couldn't really run out of the I formation. But wowie zowie we have no run game. As much as we don't have a pass rush, we have no run game at all. Ryan Fitzpatrick is our leading rusher. That will tell you as much as you need to know about our run game. The Bengals suck. Run the ball on them. If you want to win this game, if Brian Flores wants to win this game, run the ball on them. Now, don't get me wrong. They still have Geno Atkins, who's no slouch. So it's going to be a little bit of pressure, especially with them coming after us with our poo-poo offensive line, but we need to have some type of run game, and that goes into my number 5 thing. They all kind of intermingle and interweaved one into the other. My number 5 thing the Miami Dolphins need to do, we need some O-line help. For the love of cheese, man. Come on. Block. Open some lanes. Help these guys out. We went for on 4th and 1. We ran the ball, which last week I was like, why are you running the ball? You have no run game. Fake it to Laird and have Fitz take it for himself because he gets about 5-6 yards a carry, which is ridiculous. This O-line needs to do something. Please do something and stop being doo-doo. Please do something. If you play like you've been playing and going against Geno Atkins and going against, again, this Bengals defensive line isn't that bad, we might lose this game. Now, that takes me to the matter at hand, right? This is a game that has huge implications, ginormous implications. We lose the game. The Miami Dolphins don't beat the Cincinnati Bengals. It puts them in prime position to potentially get the first overall pick, but definitely get the second overall pick. Now, to get the first overall pick, the Cincinnati Bengals would have to beat the Cleveland Browns next week, and then the Giants would have to beat the Redskins, if I'm correct in my process, and then the Dolphins would have to beat the Patriots. If I remember correctly, that's what the Dolphins would have to lose to the Patriots, Cleveland would have to lose to Cincinnati, Giants would have to beat the Redskins. And Dolphins get the number 1 overall pick. And to get the second overall pick, Dolphins would just pretty much need to lose out, and I think they would just need the Giants to beat the Redskins, and they get the second overall pick. So losing this game would have huge implications on getting a higher pick than 3, right? Because at 3, you're kind of like, you can't get Joe Burrow and you can't get Chase Young because they're going to go 1 and 2 unless something happens, unless the Giants or the Bengals just flub their draft up and they fall. One of them falls to 3, and then all of a sudden the Dolphins are like, cool, here's our ticket. We'll take Chase Young or Joe Burrow. But I'll talk about who I would want in what scenario when that time of the season comes, which is after next weekend and the season's over for the Dolphins. But then you look at the other side, and if you're Brian Flores has been trying to win every game all season. And how do you know that? Is because he's been starting Ryan Fitzpatrick all game since they started winning. Because Ryan Fitzpatrick gives them the best chance to win. I will make a video talking about Josh Rosen's future with the team. I will make that video. I'll probably make it next week. Make it for Monday for you guys. But you could tell Brian Flores wants to win. You could tell this team wants to win. Again, when it comes to that term, it was never in my mind, nor was it ever in the team or the coach's mind. And I talked about this time and time again about what the Dolphins were doing. I'm not going to go over it again. But to lose to the Cincinnati Bengals would look bad because the Cincinnati Bengals are bad. They're a 1-win team. The Dolphins are a 3-win team, but they're a 1-win team. So in Brian Flores' mind, you want to win that game. You should be able to win that game, right? But if you look at it on paper, if you look at it at the team, Cincinnati, talent-wise, is better than the Miami Dolphins. And I know, me as a Dolphin fan, people are like, how dare you talk bad about the Miami Dolphins, the prestigious Miami Dolphins. I love my team. They have some better pieces than the Dolphins because we have practice squad secondary. We have no pass rush. We have a horrible offensive line. best parts are, Baker, Fitz, Parker. Everyone else is kind of like, could be better. So if you want my God's honest opinion of what I think is going to happen Sunday, I honestly think that the Dolphins will probably win this game. I think they'll win it by probably a touchdown. 24-17. I love that score if you haven't noticed. But I think the Dolphins will probably win. If you want my God's honest opinion and if you want me to pick the game, I think the Dolphins will win. What do I want to happen? I'm cool either way. Because I'm the mindset that it's not where you pick, it's who you pick. But, hey, if it helps us to get the first overall pick and we end up losing, cool. I'm cool. And if we win, even better. So that's my mindset. But if you want my honest opinion, I think the Dolphins will win this one. If that's not what you want, comment below, let me know. If that is what you want, comment below, let me know. But be sure to comment below, let me know. And I'm going to get to one of you guys' comments of the day. This comment comes from Twitter. And it comes from Dream is Here, a.k.a. Ronnie boy. And he says, so I tweeted out that, Omar Kelly tweeted out, most of you will be shocked to learn Vince Beagle or Beal, however you say his name, isn't under contract for next season. I said, Miami better change that. And then Dream is Here says, Beal's not under contract after this year. WTF are they waiting for? Now, him and Ginkle have been actually doing really well on the edges and have actually pushed Charles Harris out of his edge rushing position. They need to re-sign this man. They can't let this man even attempt to touch free agency. He should be the next one who should get a contract. Now, should he get a huge fat contract? No, because we still are not getting pressure on the quarterback, so you don't deserve to get a huge fat contract. Give him another 1 year. Maybe give him a 2-year contract, but the first year is like $3 million guaranteed. And then potential. You know what I'm saying? But the fact I noticed that Vince Beal wasn't, or Beagle, or however you say his name, isn't under contract next year. I was like, why? It's because we traded for him. It was a trade to trade and then all that stuff with Kiko. But he's killing. He's doing way better than Kiko's doing with the Saints. But yeah, they need to re-sign that man. But thank you, Ron, for the comment. Yeah, I don't know what they're waiting for, Ron. I honestly don't know what they're waiting for. But thank you for the comment. Be sure, like I said, to comment below. Let me know what you guys think of who you want to win. Do you want to win? Do you want to lose? How do you feel about it? If you don't give a crap. This game is, I know a lot of people are like, this game sucks. This is a suck bowl. This is stupid. But don't be surprised if it's a high-scoring game. Because both teams are, they're doo-doo. Say it one more time. Do. But be sure to comment below. Other than that, be sure to follow me on Twitter. I take comments from Twitter. I also take comments from here. So be sure to follow me on Twitter. Breaking news, you get it. If I go live, I tend to tweet it out first, and then I come here into the community section. I ask you guys if I go live, would you hang out? And then I do a bunch of things, but be sure to follow me on Twitter. Also, check out the Bit Boys. Christmas games are out. We got one more week. Next week is Christmas, which... Early Merry Christmas to you guys. I got a special Christmas video planned for you guys next week. Should be super duper fun with that. But yeah, be sure to check out the Bit Boys if you like that video game stuff. Subscribe to that channel. Other than that, give this video a thumbs up. For one, we have one more game, and then we start getting into the mode of the Miami Dolphins offseason, which is essentially... The whole NFL is going to be talking about the Miami Dolphins offseason. The whole NFL, ESPN, NFL Network, your mom, my mom, grandma, grandpa, everyone's going to be talking about the Miami Dolphins this offseason. You got 14 draft picks. You have over $125 million in cap. You have 6 draft picks in the first 3 rounds. Everyone's going to be talking about you. What are the Dolphins going to be doing with their 3 first-round picks? Who are they going to go for? And we'll all start to see where we're going to be picking. So give this video a thumbs up for that. And you like the content. And you like me. And you like... the background. Check out Sportscaster and DolphinsTalk.com, 2 great sites. One is a streaming site. The other one is a Dolphins podcast website with podcast articles, all that stuff. That's DolphinsTalk.com if you didn't know that. Be sure to go over, check them out. Other than that, hit that subscribe button because like I said, this offseason is a huge Dolphins offseason. Other than that, I have a ton of stuff planned for this channel, growing, all that stuff. The picks video is going to be completely different next year. A lot of things are going to be changing. A lot of things are going to be new. A lot of things are going to be spruced up. So be sure to hit that subscribe button. Other than that, I will see you guys Sunday. I might go live tomorrow. I haven't decided yet. So be sure to check the community section and be sure to follow me on Twitter. I'll let you know if I'm going live tomorrow. I haven't decided yet. But you definitely get a post video from me come Sunday. So worst case scenario, I'll definitely see Sunday. But other than that, like usual, stay classy. Fins up.